Hi everyone, welcome to PowerShell for Penetration Testers at Pentester Academy. In this video, let's have a quick discussion on vulnerability scanning and analysis using PowerShell. We will only have a look at automating Nmap and Nessus and parsing and analyzing their results. PowerShell right now lack any tool or script which could be used to replace these kind of tools. So let's have a look at Nmap and parsing its results. And for automating Nessus and parsing its reports, we will use yet another module by Carlos Perez. We are not going to have a look at the Nessus thing in detail. Let's just do it for Nmap. And you will see in the later slides that Carlos has written a very well explained blog post about this. So let's first do it for Nmap. Why would we like or we would want to automate Nmap? My first encounter with Nmap was when during one of my penetration tests, a client asked for separate reports or separate Nmap outputs for each of his subnet. So that was the very first time when I wanted to have a control over Nmap from outside the Nmap tool itself. So let's stick to this scenario and try to automate Nmap. So the scenario with us is we have IP ranges let's select two IP ranges and for each of the range we would like to start Nmap. Nmap is in the system path on this machine, so we need not provide the whole path. Otherwise, we can use the complete path here. Let's use no name resolution, no ping, only top ports. For this demo, let's just go with 20 top ports. $$ range. XML output to okay, so let's use output path to CPFPT now. We need a separate file name for each of the files, so let's just quickly split the range, and so this is a really ugly code. We can always write it in a much better way. So this should work. Now let's save it as invoke auto, maybe start auto and map. Now if we run this script, so scanned one of the subnets. This was the second one, and it is done. Now we can use, we have done the automation part. Obviously, this was just a really simple or simplified example. We can use this PowerShell automation of Nmap using PowerShell for any number of scenarios. For example, if a client wants you to scan only a number of IPs within a range, let's say 20 IPs within a range, or you want it to schedule without creating without having to create a scheduled task, though which it is not recommended, etc. I mean, it would be limited only by the requirements and the imagination. Otherwise, there are limitless opportunities. Now let's use parse and map, script written by the guys from Sans, which could be used to parse XML results of Nmap. So we must have, so these are the files we have. I forgot the XML here. Anyways, I think this should work. And let's see. So we can catch it into a PowerShell variable so that we can work more on it. But as you can see, there are a lot of machines and the results have been passed quite properly. We can pass different options to this script. This way we can again very simply automate Nmap and parse the results generated by it using this script. Also, if you don't want to use this script and want to do it manually for some reason, it could be done this way. Let's call a variable Nmap and use this. Now if recall the command that we use whenever dealing with something new, get member. As you can see, there are some really interesting property members here. So let's see what this host contains. So a list of hosts perhaps. Let's run get member over it. And then we have address, property, status property, etc., which could be used on these hosts. So again, as you can see that there are so many XML nodes to be passed, and we can use the XML generated using Nmap this way. So that is all as far as Nmap is concerned. To automate nessus and parse its reports, use Posh NVS by Carlos. So this is a really good series of posts about this. Also, if you want to see a real world implementation of PowerShell automation, Nmap automation with PowerShell, see ScanDiff. Also, these are the blog posts which could be useful if you are looking for parsing Nmap results with PowerShell. So this was a very quick look at vulnerability scanning and analysis using PowerShell. We did not dig deeper so that we can focus on more fun and useful material regarding PowerShell in later phases of a penetration test. Hope you are enjoying your time at Pentester Academy. If you are enjoying your time with us, please recommend us to your friends and colleagues in the information security community.